This is the final project of the Unlocking Rural Mobile Coverage course for mobile broadband gap in Honduras. Um, I am Joel Escoto from Honduras, and we want to show you the mobile broadband gap in Honduras. The mobile broadband gap is the population without services in 4G. The population in Honduras for 2020 was a little bit more than 9 million, composed by 45% of the population in rural areas and 55% in urban areas. For December 2020, the population coverage for 4G services in Honduras was 67.85% of the population. The percentage of people who use the mobile broadband services is 54%. In this sense, the usage gap is 13.85% of the population. 60% of the population in Honduras is considered poor, with income less than $5 per day per person. This picture shows you the connected population. 54% of the population is connected and use the services. The the covered but not connected population is 30.85%. People who has coverage of 4G, but for economic problems don't have the income to access to the services, and then the uncovered population. You can see is very high, 32%, because the rural population in Honduras also is very high. This picture shows you the population density in Honduras. In dark green, the main cities and the areas surrounding um, is the urban areas of Honduras, and in light green is the rural areas in Honduras. The 4G coverage is very similar to the density uh, picture. You can see we have only 4G services in the main cities and the areas surrounded by the main cities. The rural areas don't have the coverage of 4G services. How close this gap? Due to the rural and poverty conditions of large part of the population in Honduras, it's evident that the market alone is difficult. For the market alone, it's difficult to reduce this gap. The government and the mobile network operators have an important role to enhance the supply and demand condition in order to close the digital gap. In this picture, you can see a girl who searched the coverage for get internet access for his access to the class for his school. Examples of government measures to enhance demand for mobile broadband services include bring ITC to the school curriculum, literacy and digital skills education programs in schools and public institutions, remove sector-specific consumer taxes and OSHAs and handsets that affect affordability, connect the school to broadband to promote better learning environment, support entrepreneurs and small medium enterprise to develop local digital ecosystems. Elements for a regulatory framework supporting investment in rural areas. Regulatory principles, spectrum policy, taxation, rollout, regulation at local level, and infrastructure sharing. I will show you some action developed but for the National Regulation Agency of Honduras, CONATEL. Regulatory principles. Regulation should be based on clearly defined policy objectives. In this sense, in 2019, the regulatory decisions correspond of the collaborations and the objectives between the national regulator agency and the mobile network operators. The Universal Service Fund is focuses on expanding the coverage for all services and the improvement of digital skills for the population, bringing the internet to the public schools and parks. Spectrum policy. In 2020, Conatel shared with the industry the national plan for frequency allocation. This plan was published in February of 2021, contains new IMT spectrum for mobile services in the following bands: 700, 1700, 2100, 2.5, and 3.5. We have coverage band, low bands, and capacity bands. These are the bands that the sector is searching. Actually, the approach are being made for mobile network operator to assignment of this spectrum. About taxation policy, after several approaches with the mobile network operators, Conatel established the following regulatory measures: reduction of 50% of the cost of the internet subsidy, cable access, discount up to 60% of the cost of the fee for the use of spectrum for microwave links, for the deployment of network in rural areas, the reduction of 10% per year of the spectrum cost for all the spectrum used for microwave links. This measure allows to increase the mobile coverage from 20 municipalities without 4G services in 2019 to only 6 at the beginning in 2021. Roll out regulatory at local level. CONATEL, together with the National Organization of Municipalities of Honduras, AMON, managed and established a single tax for the mobile network operators in 2015. The amount of this tax does not depend on the amount of the infrastructure installed. Still have challenges in this sector, but we are working in a plan for reduce these barriers. About infrastructure sharing, since 2014, CONATEL established the infrastructure sharing regulatory. The mobile network operators and their own will, they have established agreements for the infrastructure sharing. This is all. Thank you for your time. And thank you.